So it boils down into three different problems. One is the volume growth that we've seen in terms of payments. The second is the rise in regulations and new standards. And the third is competition. When we break each of these down, thinking about the rise in payments volume, so even in developed countries where cash adoption is much lower, in the UK, for example, FPS volumes are increasing by 14% year over year. When we look at less developed countries or developing countries, in India, UPI, for example, is growing by a massive 50% year over year. And UPI has been available for the last 8 years. So to continue that growth is just outstanding. On top of that, what you see is new regulations and new standards. So you see things like automated push provisioning fraud. You see SCA, you see PSD3, you see all of these new mandates that regulators are coming out with. On top of that, you're seeing transition to different messaging types. So you're seeing ISO 20022 becoming a bigger and bigger part of the payments industry globally. And then finally, you're seeing competition. So from a consumer perspective, consumers don't care about payments, right? They just care, did my payment get to where it needs to go? Fast and secure, right? So what that means is from a competition perspective, you have competitors that have very clean sheet designs that are coming without any tech debt that are able to out-execute you.
Yeah, so from technology perspective, this dynamically evolving payment landscape, it poses opportunities for banks, but also challenges. One reason for these fragmented systems is that they have evolved organically within banks. Typically, it happens project by project. So if we imagine a scenario whereby there's a new payment rail that comes online in a given country, or there is a new big regulatory change or a new product that the bank is launching that needs to be connected to payment rails, this typically gets done for a specific project and the boxes are ticked. Now, this way of doing things creates issues for banks. It makes the systems more expensive to integrate with because there isn't a clean interface. It's fragmented, and it makes it more expensive to operate because there isn't a canonical view of payments. And it makes it more expensive to change, right? Because any new payment rail, that's a new implementation project end to end, and it's very costly. We believe the payments landscape will continue evolving at a rapid pace. It will not stop. So what is required is future-proof systems that are easier to evolve and adapt and not designed piecemeal project by project.
Whether you talk to a C-suite exec or whether you talk to a payment operator or a business head, the thing that's on the minds of everyone is how much does it cost? Whether you think about payments as a revenue center or a cost center, it's the exact same thing. Every dollar that's saved on making payments is a dollar added to the bottom line. So a way to think about this is straight through processing. Manual interventions are some of the most costliest things that a bank will do in terms of their payment processing. So being able to adapt and configure your payment system as and when new standards come up, or as and when you start seeing the same errors over and over, that will allow you to reduce one of the biggest expenses. Additionally, from an org perspective, every time you add a new payment rail, it comes with a new schema, it comes with a new message type, it comes with a new set of errors and a new set of manual interventions that you need to solve for. So one of the things that you should be looking at is, how do I consolidate all of this into an easy-to-use platform so that I don't need to train a payment operator on 16 different types of messages on multiple different error codes? That also reduces the scope for human error and ultimately increases the straight-through processing rate. Reducing all of this complexity allows you to move faster and allows banks to really start innovating rather than being handcuffed by all of their technical debt.
To me, it's first principles thinking. We don't want to just look to what's out there. We don't want to look to existing competition. We don't want to look to existing structures or homegrown systems within the bank. We really want to deeply understand the problem, deconstruct the fundamental basic principles, what's static, what's likely to change, and design a system around it.